Back in April, trainers of all ages and experience levels headed to the St. Paul Rodeo Grounds to pick up their wild Mustangs with one goal in mind: competing in the Teens in Oregon Mustangs Challenge. These trainers have spent the past few months training Mustangs from the ground up, leading them up to this challenge where they'll compete in an assortment of events including conditioning, showmanship, and trail. They've all spent countless hours filled with blood, sweat, and tears to get to this moment, and today you get to see what all their hard work has culminated into.
Good morning, everyone. I am so much later than I wanted to be. I'm really only about 15 minutes later. My coffee shop doesn't open until 6:45 anyway. It is 7 o'clock right now, and I'm driving on back roads until I get to Albany. I am so jazzed about this. I love going to these shows, and this one is very, very near and dear to my heart. I'm a little less familiar with it than like the extreme Mustang makeovers or tip challenges. It's slightly different, so we'll talk about that. I'm just so excited. Oh my god, but let's get coffee and not have everything fall over in the truck. What is happening?
The morning started quieter than I'd expected. While the trainers were attending the judges' walkthrough, I spent time wandering through the stalls. The horses had the previous day to get settled, and I listened as the whinnying echoed throughout the barn. I stopped periodically, saying hi to all these Mustangs that only had about 4 months of training. Most were friendly, perking their ears up or sticking their noses to the stall door, trying to get a sense of who this strange lady with a camera was. Their stalls had displays showing all of the horse and trainers' accomplishments from the first moments of meeting to the last few rides before the competition. And while I could have stayed there for the entire morning, relishing in the sights and sounds of it all, it was time to head over to the arena for the show to begin. The trainers' meeting was just about finished as I got settled in, taking notes on how the arena had been split in two and jotting down the obstacle layout. Trail was on one half, while showmanship took place on the other. Showmanship was the first class in the arena, which is one of my personal favorites to compete in. It's an in-hand event designed to showcase just how well you can present your horse from the lead. Patterns can have a multitude of maneuvers, and this one was pretty straightforward with walking, jogging, haunch turns, backing, and an inspection. The key is softness and to show that your horse can move off of your body language, not just your hands. Those that are successful in this event typically don't have to have tension in the lead. Another thing to mention, this competition has quite a few different divisions, both in-hand and riding. Youth in-hand is the youngest group, pairing up yearling Mustangs with kids aged 10 to 14, where they learn how to train the beginning stages of groundwork. Teens have two options, in-hand or riding. For the riding division, trainers age 14 to 18 work Mustangs that are 3 and older, and they work on basic groundwork as well as getting their horses green broke to ride. Teens electing to be in the in-hand division are combined with adults, resulting in a division for those 15 and older working with Mustangs aged 2 and older. Since this was such a large age bracket, it ended up being the largest division of the show with over 30 trainers. Adults are also offered a riding division, training Mustangs that are 3 years old and over. Lastly, the Platinum division is our oldies but goodies. It's reserved for those that are wanting to compete in hand that are aged 50 and over with yearlings. All these divisions compete in the same types of classes, with trail being the main difference of in-hand versus ridden. One thing I didn't realize until way later while I was there, the warm-up arena was also split in half for the body conditioning class. This show runs slightly different than other events I've seen or competed in, but I think I actually prefer it. The main objective of a body conditioning or handling conditioning class is to showcase your Mustang's core groundwork skills like loading in a trailer, picking up the feet, and haltering. But it's also a class to judge how well you've conditioned your horse based off the Heineke body conditioning score. This event utilized a vet for the beginning part of the class who was absolutely great about keeping things lighthearted and enjoyable for those that were competing. He discussed dental health with the competitors and asked medical questions as a part of their scoring, which I really appreciated. Once the vet was finished with his portion, the competitor releases the Mustang into a pen, exits, and the horse is haltered by someone else. Once caught, the competitor then loads and unloads the horse into a trailer and is once more assessed by a judge before exiting the arena. The last class of the day was in-hand trail, which was combined with a small freestyle to show off a few more of their horse's skills. Similar to other Mustang competitions, trainers chose their music, props, and whatever skills they wanted to showcase for around 90 seconds. Trail is a class set up with obstacles, and your job as the trainer is to show your Mustang's abilities in navigating those obstacles. Judges want to see a confident, calm, and attentive horse, one that doesn't nick poles and has a friendly demeanor throughout the pattern. A handler with quiet and clear cues will often place well. This pattern had quite a few challenging parts, including dangling pool noodles, a tight gate, and a bridge surrounded by shrubbery.
Once again, I got here much later than I had hoped. So it is currently 7:34, so I need to get inside so that I can see the trail walkthrough, see how they're gonna approach things in the riding class, because I think it is slightly different. The pattern looks like it's slightly different, so we'll see. My contour is very dark today. It's making me look orange, but maybe it's just because I'm in the sun. I don't know.
Day 2 was heavily focused on the riding divisions, with technically only one class for the day. Just like with in-hand trail, the riding division had a compulsory type class combined with their trail pattern instead of a freestyle. This was another timed class, but they had a set pattern to showcase the horse's abilities in more of a Western equitation style. They entered at a walk down the side of the arena before showing elements at the trot, extended trot, and lope, as well as a backup and some haunch turns. In the trail class, they removed the pool noodles but kept a lot of the same obstacles, including the gate, side pass, pole work, and bridge. Just like with in-hand, judges want to see a horse that focuses on what's ahead of them without spooking and with an air of confidence. Their rider should keep their eyes up and maintain quiet cues to have a successful pattern. Before the day was up, I snuck over to the Wild Horse Trading Post, which was a new vendor show hosted by Teens in Oregon Mustangs. There were so many talented craftsmen, and of course I had to pick up a shirt for my kiddo. There was also a table set up for those with questions about BLM Mustangs and to learn how to adopt, but of course the best part was the stunning awards they had for the competitors. Just look at how many buckles they had.
My hair is a mess because I let it air dry this morning. We are back at the fairgrounds for day 3 of the Teens in Oregon Mustang Challenge. Today is the last day, and it has been so many mixed emotions, many mixed emotions, because it's so sad to see the Facebook posts from mostly the younger kids, younger trainers that are very, very disheartened over the fact that they're not keeping their horse, that they are selling their horse. And it's something that I think is so important to learn how to deal with the emotions for that. But I think it's really important in this industry to know how to treat a horse as if it's your own, but be willing to give it the best possible life through someone else. So it's been really challenging to watch all these posts, and it makes me wish that I was just rich, just to pay for everyone to keep their horse that wants it. Today we're starting with the body conditioning showdown, which I'm not too sure what that is, to be honest. I think it's kind of just a championship handling and conditioning, but I'm not sure. It could be similar to a halter class. So we're gonna go in and get set up so we can watch that. It's at 9:30 and it's 9:08. I actually got here on time today and I so thought I was gonna be late again. We're gonna watch that at 9:30. The awards start at 10 and then I believe the auction starts at noon.
Day 3 was such a mix of emotions, and you could feel it radiating from the barns. It was the final day, a culmination of all the stress, passion, and excitement from the competitors. I sat in the stands as each competitor filed in, and I could feel my own heart pick up its pace with the anticipation of the awards announcements. They began with the national anthem, with a previous Teens in Oregon Mustangs horse carrying the flag between the lines of competitors. Erica, the competition's founder, began explaining the program and its rich history to the audience, and I could feel just how proud she was of the program itself and each and every one of the trainers.
We had super gritty, tough horses, and these trainers showed up. If they're in this arena, they show up.
But then she mentioned the one part of this event I knew I was going to get choked up about, the Sarah Watson Memorial College Scholarship. Sarah was an incredible horsewoman I had the pleasure of coaching through Oregon high school equestrian teams, but also a great friend to all. She was such a light to the world and a huge advocate for Teens in Oregon Mustangs, to the point that she tried to get me to sign up multiple times. Unfortunately, Sarah lost her life in a motorcycle accident in 2018. The loss of such a beautiful soul is devastating, but through this challenge and her amazing parents, a scholarship has been set up in her name, allowing her legacy to live on through the Teens in Oregon Mustangs Challenge.
Sarah Watson was a competitor for years. I think she was maybe 11, 12 years old. And she comes up to me so excited when she gets her little yearling. And she says, I'm gonna name her a rookie because I'm a rookie too. She went on to compete like every year. And then after I think her parents were getting sick of taking horses home. And so they had her start training the raffle horse. We used to do a raffle horse. And she would train the raffle horse every year. And she was just such a bright light in our program. And she was killed in a motorcycle accident. So her parents helped us start a scholarship in her name.
Our scholarship, we had 7 applications, and our scholarship is going to go to Monica Therhun. She's our winner this year.
Following the announcement of this year's scholarship recipient, one final class was going to take place, the Body Conditioning Showdown by Wilco Purina. In this class, the judges looking at the muscle conditioning of the horse, coat condition, and just overall presentation. They took the top 10 horses, lined them up, and depending on placing, each competitor received a Wilco gift card. The awards began directly after, and they gave prizes to the top 3 in each class, as well as prizes for the top 10 overall in each division. In every division but Platinum, they gave each person in the top 5 a buckle. Finally came one of the hardest parts of the show, the auction. I myself teared up a few times when I would hear trainers' voices start to crack, talking about how amazing these horses were. The goal is to place these wonderful Mustangs into loving homes, but it's incredibly hard to sell a horse when you've put so much hard work into them and built such a strong bond. The auction was an incredible success, breaking their records not once, not twice, but 3 different times. Alfalfa was the highest selling in-hand horse and sold for $6,600. Then, Simba broke the riding horse record at $34,000, which blew my mind to see a Mustang sell for that much. But after that, Legend came in, breaking the record again at $36,000.
$36,500. Sold right there for $36,000.
It just goes to show the value these true American legends have, what great horses lie beneath shaggy coats. These trainers worked hard with their Mustangs, but they came home with an empty trailer and strands of hay left in their pockets, hearts full and broken at the same time. At the conclusion of the auction, the grounds started to quiet, trailers and horses left the barns, and aisles were swept out, but it all left me with just one question in mind. When can I sign up?